Tonight, a Canadian first.
We want nurses to have a better experience on the front lines. We know that patients deserve better quality care and better outcomes.
Manitoba becomes the first province to mandate nurse-to-patient ratios, what the move means for the healthcare system, and how soon it could be implemented. Also tonight, keeping an eye on the law.
This is the best way to ensure that the facts come out.
How soon Winnipeg police officers will don body-worn cameras and how they will be used. Plus,
I think the consensus both among ethicists and psychologists is that this is a cruel and unusual punishment.
What former inmates have to say about the effects of solitary confinement as a Manitoba judge approves a multi-million-dollar settlement over the practice.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Dow. Marilee is away. After the marathon wrap-up of spring sitting at the legislature, one bill was passed. It makes Manitoba a first in the country to mandate nurse-patient ratios. Another province, British Columbia, started ratios back in 2023, but Manitoba is the first to pass a law about it. CTV's Harrison Shin joins us now live with the details. So Harrison, I understand the bill was passed, but what exactly does it change?
Well, Catherine, while the bill actually stops short of determining what the ratio is, what it does require is health authorities and organizations to have one, meaning how many patients per nurse, and that requires a compliance plan. And today, the first recommendations were released. Manitoba will have a nurse-to-patient ratio required by law.
The implementation committee is going to look at these recommendations, and then it has to do the work of understanding what are the differences geographically, right? Again, the needs of Winnipeg are different than the needs in the north or in Prairie Mountain Health.
The Manitoba Nurse-Patient Ratio Subcommittee heard from more than 4,800 nurses and have released 9 recommendations developed with employers and the government.
We want nurses to have a better experience on the front lines. We know that patients deserve better quality care and better outcomes, and nurse-to-patient ratios is a big part of how we make that happen.
Recommendations include minimum ratios across acute and non-acute areas, minimum baseline staff, and developing rural and northern specific strategies. The initial ratio suggestions are 1 nurse for 1 to 2 patients in intensive care and 1 nurse per 4 patients minimum for emergency departments.
It's something that we've been advocating for a very long time, to have nurse-patient ratios.
The Manitoba Nurses Union President Darlene Jackson says call for nurse-to-patient ratios came from their last round of collective bargaining, and while Jackson wants to get the ball rolling as soon as possible, she says implementation should start slowly, considering the province is short on nurses.
We believe that bringing nurse-patient ratios in, starting with nurse-patient ratios, we're going to bring nurses back into the system. We're going to bring part-time nurses.
In a statement, PC Health critic Kathleen Cook says, in part, the ratio is a laudable goal, but will require concrete action to implement across all areas of the province. Cook adds it will need a staffing plan with a strong focus on retention.
Okay, so Harrison, on that, do we know if there's going to be more funding for nurses or a timeline to implement this new ratio?
Well, not as of right now. As Agora says, they intend to do it in a sustainable and responsible way.
All right, thanks for this, Harrison. An event hoping to dispel disinformation about the measles vaccine is being deemed a success by Manitoba's health minister. Uzoma Asaguera says more than 6,300 folks joined the telephone town hall on Wednesday night. People asked Manitoba health officials questions like how effective the vaccine is, side effects, and what age to get the vaccine. Manitoba's health minister says they've noticed people are becoming more open to conversations about vaccines.
You can hear that people started to feel more and more comfortable with it, which is exactly what we want. We want for people to not feel any shame or embarrassment. We want them to know that asking questions about healthcare and about science is important, it's welcome, and that here in Manitoba, you're going to get your questions answered.
The minister says the province is also sharing information through billboards, social media posts, and community visits from public health nurses. 40 Winnipeg police officers will start wearing body cameras next week. The new technology is part of a new pilot project with the goal of equipping all frontline officers with the cameras. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you now, police say this will improve accountability and safety.
Starting Wednesday, Winnipeg police officers will be wearing cameras to capture video when responding to a call.
It keeps them accountable, and then it gives you another side of the story.
For the sake of keeping everybody transparent, then absolutely.
Over the next 6 months, 40 frontline officers are being equipped with the cameras as part of a pilot project with the aim of outfitting up to 700 frontline officers in 2027. The cameras will be turned on when officers are responding to calls, doing enforcement, during investigations, and when an officer initiates an interaction with an individual. Police say this will hold everyone involved accountable.
We owe it to the membership, we owe it to the police service, and more importantly, to the citizens of Winnipeg to show what is happening, how our officers are responding.
The WPS believes this will also improve safety. People may act differently if they know cameras are rolling, and police say the cameras will help prosecutors in court.
This is the best way to ensure that the facts come out.
But some members of the public may have privacy concerns being recorded by police.
I think it's important to be more clear to the public on what happens with the data.
Police say the video footage collected will be secured and the data is owned by the police and no one else has access, adding Canada and Manitoba have strict privacy rules compared to the U.S.
It's protected, it's retained as controlled by City of Winnipeg retention bylaws and only disclosed through appropriate means.
Police will be looking for feedback on the pilot program through public forums and a survey. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Meanwhile, Winnipeg is not alone. The Brandon Police Force started equipping officers with body cameras this week with a plan to phase in 65 of them. We're learning more tonight about how many officers were involved in last week's hostage taking in St. James and what that meant for people who called police for other reasons.
It was an active shooter. We had to assign a lot of police officers, a lot of cruiser cars there. So they're at the scene for a long period of time.
That's Deputy Chief of Support Services Art Stannard, who says 77 units were involved in last Friday's incident. He says each unit is comprised of 1 or 2 officers, and because of the immense strain on resources, he says calls in the queue spiked by 78% Friday and reached a peak of 337 waiting by Sunday.
In this case, we had to call out quite a number of resources over the weekend to address and to get the queue down to a manageable number, not get down to 0, but just get down to a number that we can tolerate.
Stannard says the force received funding for 36 officers to staff 2 more cruisers last year, but he says at least 36 more are needed to help keep up with the growing city. Today marked the 2nd annual Pride celebration at the Manitoba Legislative Building, and it went off with flying colors. Doing that on the marble floors in the Ledge, not easy. The celebration honors 2 LGBTQIA+ individuals in the province and their impact on our communities. This year's event is also extra special because it's the first to take place after the passage of Bill 234, which officially designates June as Pride Month. And to mark it, the steps of the legislature are getting a makeover.
For the first time ever, on the grounds of the legislature leading up to the stairs that walk you into this building, bring you into this building, we are going to have a pride crossing here on the grounds of the Manitoba legislature right outside the building.
Asaguera says the steps serve as a reminder that all are welcome in Manitoba. And speaking of pride, you're going to want to find a different route if you need to commute through the downtown on Sunday morning. Here's a look at the parade route. It all gets started with a rally in front of the Legislative Building at 10 a.m. The parade itself kicks off at Memorial Park at 11, and then it'll head east on Portage Avenue before turning right on Main Street briefly before turning onto William Stephenson Way, and it comes to an end next to Shaw Park. And if you're unable to make it there in person, we're once again streaming the parade live. Just head over to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. The most important selling point, we're co-hosting it, Colleen.
Yes.
Second time. We had the best time last time. We're going to be in the comfort of the air-conditioned studios.
Yes.
But for those heading out on the parade or to the rally, how's the weather going to be treating them?
It's not just going to be very hot, Catherine, it's also going to be very humid. So there's also the potential for severe weather on Sunday. So we have a heat warning that has returned. It's not just Sunday that's going to be very warm. All throughout the weekend, some very warm temperatures in the low 30s during the day and warm overnight lows across the south. But we have a heat warning in effect for Winnipeg, the Red River Valley, southeastern Manitoba, and then you can see there too all the way out to places like Killarney along the international border. So if you are planning to do anything outdoors this weekend, including the thousands of folks who will be heading out to the parade, particularly prepare for the heat and the humidity on Sunday. We'll get into the low 30s temperature-wise, but when you factor in the humidex, it will feel in the upper 30s. More on that to come, and what temperatures await us next week. Let's take a look right now, though, first through the CTV Live Eyes, brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution in Winnipeg right now. That's a very picturesque looking shot there. 22 degrees with a humidex. Why not? It feels like 23. Winds light out of the north at 9 kilometers an hour. The pressure is dropping, and the humidity right now, Catherine, is 49%.
Thanks, Colleen. Winnipeggers may soon be able to start getting their trailers and boats ready for camping season a little earlier than normal. A motion making its way through City Hall would permit one recreational vehicle, travel trailer, or motorhome to be parked on a driveway leading to a home or in a side or rear yard between May 1st and October 31st. Currently, that's only allowed between May 15th and October 31st. The plan would still need a public hearing before moving through full council. Cruel, inhumane, and degrading. That's how a class action lawsuit describes solitary confinement in Manitoba jails. On Thursday, a Manitoba judge approved a settlement totaling $129 million to compensate both youth and adult inmates who experience such conditions. Standing by live with the details is CTV's Joseph Bernacki. So, Joseph, what exactly came from Thursday's decision?
Catherine, the lawsuit was filed in 2021 by an Ontario law firm, and it gathered up testimony from those impacted by the practice in Manitoba. Critics are calling this settlement long overdue. Under Manitoba law, it's called segregation. The lawsuit says it's defined as being without human contact for at least 22 hours per day. There are two types: disciplinary, which can be used for up to 15 days in a row, but also preventative, which has no time limit. In a moment, you'll hear from some of those people who spoke to the court about how they're still recovering to this day. Thursday was a day of relief and reckoning for inmates held in solitary confinement. Court heard from a now 22-year-old who says he was just 14 when he was held for more than 2 weeks in a 10-by-10 cell at the former Agassiz Youth Center in Portage la Prairie. He described camera monitoring 24/7 and fluorescent lights mostly kept on. He says, at the end of the day, this was a horribly traumatic event, something that lives with me to this day. The man cannot be identified because he was a youth at the time. He told court, "I'm sure in that moment I probably didn't want to be alive because of just how miserable, how terrible of a time it was there." Now the province will pay $129 million to potentially thousands of class members, which include youth placed after September 12, 2006 and adults after September 12, 2012, who suffered from a serious mental illness or held for more than 15 days, for what the suit calls lasting emotional, physical, and psychological harm. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for Justice Minister Matt Wiebe says the Manitoba government acknowledges the settlement accepted by the Manitoba courts today. Further comments will be reserved pending the release of the written decision. Critics following the case say Manitoba's law on solitary confinement, where it is allowed indefinitely for preventative cases, is not in line with international law. Neil MacArthur is an ethics professor from the University of Manitoba.
Something that was passed by the General Assembly of the United Nations, saying that anything longer than 15 days in solitary confinement constitutes cruel and unusual punishment.
MacArthur says the impact of solitary confinement for youth poses even greater risk.
Jurisdictions around the world have stopped doing this or are stopping right now. So Manitoba needs to be in line with what international law and what the best research says. I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
The Ontario law firm representing the class action suit sent a statement to CTV News. "We are pleased that Justice Bach approved the settlement. We believe it is a fair outcome that will provide genuine access to justice for the class." The government settled the class action without going to trial and denies liability.
So, Joseph, how much could those who meet this criteria expect to receive?
Catherine, eligible youth will receive an award starting at $9,000, while adult awards start at $3,000. The maximum compensation at this time is $100,000.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. Police are asking for your help tracking down two men who robbed a jewelry store in River Heights in April. Here's what they look like. Police say the pair went into the store in the 1700 block of Corden Avenue shortly after noon on April 29th, armed with a handgun and a hammer. They smashed a display case and made off with a significant amount of jewelry. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. The Tories are distancing themselves from one of its previous leadership candidates. Wally Doddridge will not be allowed to run under the PC party's banner during the next provincial election. Doddridge lost last year's leadership by less than a percentage point to the current leader, Abi Khan. Still hoping to play a bigger part in the party, Doddridge applied to run in the Turtle Mountain riding with the PCs during the next election. This week, that bid was rejected, but the longtime party member says he still doesn't know why.
I was one of the last ones to know. I was actually sitting down for coffee with Mayor Swanson and Boisevane, and my phone starts lighting up, and lo and behold, I run out to my truck and found out that the party had sent out emails, of which I hadn't gotten yet, but had sent out this news release that I was no longer welcome.
And that PC news release says, quote, candidate nominations are conducted in accordance with the party's constitution, rules, and candidate review processes, and the party would not comment further. Improvements are being made to several recreational trails around the province.
Trails are critical infrastructure requiring prioritized funding.
The 2026 Trails Manitoba grant program is putting forward more than $200,000 in 19 trail projects in Winnipeg, Beausejour, Steep Rock, and elsewhere. That is on top of $6 million over the last 5 years to create 600 kilometers of new trail, 400 kilometers of upgrades, and maintenance on 2,800 kilometers. The province is also opening 2 new backcountry campsites on the Black Wolf Trail in Hecla Grindstone Provincial Park.
These campsites are going to turn a beautiful trail into another multi-day hiking opportunity.
The campsites are first come, first served. Manitobans are encouraged to hit a trail tomorrow as part of the 4th annual Manitoba Trails Day. Winnipeg could be getting a new regional park. A motion before the Property and Development Committee recommends the Public Service look into the cost to acquire 40 hectares of land in Precinct D. That includes an area west of McPhillips to Pipeline Road and heading north to the perimeter from Story Road. It says whereas the Winnipeg Park strategy calls for a new regional park to be built for every 100,000 people, but there hasn't been a new one since the 60s. The committee will look at the motion on June 11th. Spring swimming lessons are nearly over, and the city has now released details for its next round of lessons. The Summer Leisure Guide swimming brochure is now out on the city's website. Registration begins Tuesday, June 16th at 8 a.m. for Winnipeg residents and June 18th for non-residents. You can register through Leisure Online by calling 311 or in person at Cindy Clausen Rec Complex, Access St. Boniface, and any city indoor pool during regular hours. If you use the Harry Lazarenko Bridge, you'll need to find another route this weekend. The city is closing down the former Redwood Bridge for the entire weekend. Officials say it is necessary so crews can conduct routine maintenance and inspections. The city says it'll close off access at 6 Saturday morning and will reopen it at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Pedestrians will still be able to access the bridge through the weekend. Still to come tonight, some good news on the jobs front.
We saw optimism, and thankfully the numbers have proven that out today.
Which sector saw the biggest employment jumps, and why the picture wasn't quite so rosy here in Manitoba? That's next. Liberals' key affordability measures will kick in today for an estimated 12 million Canadians. It's called the Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, replacing the GST-HST credit. Amounts vary based on the size of the household. And looking at the markets, crude oil lost $2.50. The loonie closed the week at 71.82 cents U.S. Gold futures dropped $139. The TSX plunged 803 points. The Dow Jones lost 695 points, and the Nasdaq plummeted 1,100 points. The federal and provincial governments are offering a lifeline to Manitoba and Manitobans affected by U.S. tariffs and broader economic uncertainty.
Canada's economy is changing. Global markets are shifting, industries are adapting, and workers are being asked to navigate increasing uncertainty.
That is Rebecca Chartrand, Minister responsible for Canadian Northern Economic Development Agency, announcing more than $18 million for the Canada-Manitoba Workforce Tariff Response Program. It's expected to help more than 2,000 workers gain new skills for in-demand jobs, like training through or employment programs or directly through their employer.
We're going to have that targeted support, work sector by sector, and understanding that we're feeling those impacts more heavily in steel, in forestry with softwood lumber, agriculture, construction, manufacturing, transportation, warehousing, and wholesale.
You can find all the details, including how to apply, by visiting the provincial government's website. Some good news to share on the labor front today. Canada added 88,000 new jobs last month, beating expectations. The overall unemployment rate also fell. It now sits at 6.6%. CTV's Jeremy Sharon now with a closer look at the numbers and what they show.
Fresh baked goods rising in demand. In this Ottawa bakery just months after laying someone off, Jordan Pett is hiring again.
Looking to, grow our menu and keep it steadily growing, and hopefully grow our team more as well.
According to Statistics Canada, the country's economy added 88,000 jobs in May, driving unemployment down 0.3% to 6.6%, outperforming forecasters' predictions.
The numbers today were strong enough to reverse most of the losses that brewed in the data to start the year.
Full-time employment drove the gains, while part-time jobs took a drop. Unemployment among youth is down 0.9%, but still above 13%.
Because we deal with thousands of businesses, to place youth into businesses, we saw optimism, and thankfully the numbers have proven that out today.
Specifically, students are off to a better summer job season than last year, which was the worst in nearly a decade.
Part of that fall in the unemployment rate is a fall in youth participation, and it's not exactly clear why fewer youth are participating in the labor force.
The data comes on the heels of a GDP report from the same department last week that showed Canada has entered a technical recession, which the Conservative Party remained focused on today.
It's very clear in the numbers that we're in recession. What we're seeing in the job numbers is that we're significantly worse off than the pre-pandemic averages.
While the government says Canada's economy is moving in the right direction.
The numbers that you saw this morning on employment shows that the Canadian economy is resilient.
While economists are calling today's report a positive signal, they say it is too early to tell whether Canada's economy will continue on this positive path. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Manitoba boasted the lowest unemployment rate in the country in May at 5.5%. However, that is up 0.5 point from a month earlier. Police east of Toronto have made dozens of arrests in an ongoing investigation into criminal tourism.
An organized group deliberately traveling into our country and into our communities to commit targeted, high-profit crimes. These offenses don't just impact victims directly, they also undermine the broader sense of safety and security in our communities.
Police say the group has been linked to more than 200 crimes involving theft and fraud, totaling almost $3 million. Police say often the suspects will enter the country, commit crimes, and leave before they can be identified. 46 people have been arrested, and police are searching for more than 160 others. And 3 men pleaded guilty today in the death of a restaurant owner in Ontario. The men were extradited to Canada from Scotland to face charges, including manslaughter. In 2023, 44-year-old Sharif Rahman was assaulted outside his restaurant in Owen Sound. He died in hospital a week later. Police say the customers had left without paying their bill. An eventful day for astronauts on board the International Space Station. They've now returned to their regular activities. For a while, they were in evacuation mode because of an air leak.
The ground has all the rest of the quiescent activities. We'll just clean up our mess and get back to our day.
Thank you. 5 astronauts briefly took shelter in the docked SpaceX capsule while cosmonauts worked on an oxygen leak on the Russian side of the station. That part of the space station has suffered from cracks and leaks over the years. A second leak still needs to be fixed.
It is a significant shift because Cuba has long been one of the more affordable destinations.
Yet another blow to Cuba's tourism sector. Why the island continues to struggle and where travelers are choosing to go instead.
And a hot and humid start to the long-range forecast Sunday, 33 degrees. At least the air temperature, when you factor in the humidex, it will feel in the upper 30s. Not much relief overnight. A low of 21 degrees Sunday night into Monday, 25 during the day with a pretty high likelihood, I should say, rather, of showers on Monday, heating up again Tuesday with a lower chance of showers, but still possible. The probability of showers grows again on Wednesday, 25 degrees, and still we could see some rain showers take us into Thursday with a cooler high of 21.
The challenges keep mounting for Canadians traveling to Cuba. Major hotel operators have scaled back, and credit card companies are pulling out. And today, Sunwing and WestJet joined other airlines that are suspending their Cuban operations. Lawrence Brison de Bruy reports.
Cuba's tourism sector is facing yet another setback. A Spanish hotel chain is closing some of its properties on the island, adding to a growing list of challenges facing one of Cuba's most important industries. For Canadian travel agents, the shift is hard to miss.
It is a significant shift because Cuba has long been one of the more affordable destinations that Canadians travel to, particularly for families looking for value.
She says flight suspensions, service cuts, and infrastructure problems have pushed many travelers toward other sun destinations.
A lot of airlines, they're adding new routes and capacity to meet that demand. The driving choice right now for destinations is certainty.
Travel expert Philippe Larose Desmarais says the Dominican Republic and Mexico are emerging as top alternatives. And with demand rising, so are prices.
Ballpark, due to inflation as well, I would say it did get up maybe 15 to 25% more than same trips last year.
But the bigger story, he says, is what's happening in Cuba.
It's more than the hotel industry that's suffering. It's really like an economic crisis that's going on.
One member of a Quebec group that delivers humanitarian aid to Cuba was there just last month. He says medical supplies are among the most urgent needs.
I think people that are healthy in general are doing okay. They can eat and they can, manage to get their food and they don't need particular health care. But people who are vulnerable, it's terrible. There are actually people that are dying because of what's happening.
Christian Lemire has been making regular trips to Cuba for years. The Quebecer has been raising money and collecting donations in Quebec to help local families. He is currently there visiting his girlfriend.
Where I'm at, it's like 50 hours electricity right now.
He says the need for outside support has only grown as conditions have worsened.
For all the area, the people is living here, it's very difficult for them.
Despite the hardships, Lemire says many Cubans continue to find ways to get by as the country navigates another difficult chapter. Laurence Brisson du Breuil, CTV News.
The Assiniboine Park Conservancy is celebrating the first anniversary of a beneficial partnership.
We've been working with Wildlife Haven over the past year, and it's really been a great collaboration.
Since the Assiniboine Park Conservancy and Wildlife Haven launched their drop-off center, it's taken in over 315 animals. It allows people to drop off sick or injured and orphaned wildlife at the park to receive temporary care before being transferred to the Wildlife Haven in Ile-des-Chênes. Over the last year, the center has received a range of mammals, reptiles, and birds.
We frequently see certain things like baby bunnies, for example, or Canada geese goslings, but we've had some pretty unique ones come through too, like snowy owl, beaver.
29 volunteers are trained to accept the animals at the center, and another 18 help transport them to Wildlife Haven. But both groups say they could benefit from some more help. If you find a wild animal in need of help, the first step is to call Wildlife Haven for guidance.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady joins us now for your complete Skywatch weather forecast. Hot enough out there for you, Colleen?
Yeah, listen, exactly. Just wait. You're going to be waving those papers around all weekend because it's going to get very hot. It's going to get very humid, particularly on Sunday, that humidity. But throughout the weekend, different parts of southern Manitoba or different sections of really province could see some severe weather associated with the heat. So it'll be an interesting weekend for weather. Starting off in the southwest, we had a few showers pop through. You can see there's a couple lagging behind, just clipping the southwest corner, but out in front you can see those thunderstorms associated with that line of rain is well into North Dakota and just about to cross the I-29 between Grand Forks and Fargo, but we're only getting started. That aside, though, the rest of the night should be relatively uneventful. Weather-wise, across Manitoba, east into northwestern Ontario, you can see actually quite a bit of clearing, pockets of fog here and there, relatively light winds, and that's about it. We get into Saturday, though, things will start to change. Winds will start to strengthen out of the south, tapping into a much milder air mass. Not even mild, that's not even the right word. A hot air mass that will be pumping in that hot air into Manitoba and sending those temperatures up into the low 30s across the south. Quite warm tomorrow in the north. Now, this is what I'm talking about. If you are in sections of western Manitoba, Environment Canada says there is the potential for supercell thunderstorms where all manner of threats are possible, including hail, strong winds, and we can't even rule out tornadoes, though Environment Canada figures the risk of tornadoes is still on the Saskatchewan side of the border. We can't rule them out here. So you see late afternoon, that's when we start to see some of this pop up on the satellite radar. I'll advance this even an hour, and you can see it starts to develop more into Manitoba. So really, the risk for this will be late Saturday afternoon, well into the evening hours in western Manitoba. You can see 9 o'clock. Look at that. So that's where it looks like the greatest potential for severe weather will be on Saturday. Then we get into the overnight hours. You can see more of that coming through, maybe a little bit of rain further to the north. We get into Sunday, and then that's when we'll see even more humid air start to push into the province, and that could bring the potential for severe weather across southern Manitoba, so do watch out for that. For tonight, 13 is our low, clear, light winds out of the northwest at 15 kilometers an hour. Sunny to start the weekend off Saturday morning, 18 degrees on the way to a hot high of 31. Once we get to about 1, 2 in the afternoon, those south winds will really start to strengthen. Saturday, the UV index is very 8 or high, very 8. How about 8 or very high? You know what I mean. We get into the northeast tonight. Watch for fog overnight in Island Lake, down to 10 there. 11 overnight in Thompson. Sunny and windy tomorrow in Thompson, 22. Churchill, 22. Thompson, 27. Can you tell it's a Friday? We'll see showers likely overnight in Lynn Lake, dropping down to 14. And then tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with a chance of showers in Lynn Lake and Flin Flon. Temperatures getting up into the mid-20s for the most part, so quite warm there. A few clouds tonight over Brandon, down to 12, 14 overnight for the Dauphin area. Look at these hot highs, 29, 31 in Dauphin, Neepawa, and Brandon. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight, fairly clear. Overnight lows around 13 degrees. Watch for fog in Barons River, up to 27 there tomorrow. 31, 32 for the rest of us in the sunshine in those strong south winds. And in northwestern Ontario, varying amounts of cloud tonight, 12, 13 degrees, and then hot there too, up to 28 in the sunshine, especially windy right around Dryden. Our first weather photo is from Patricia. It takes us up to beautiful Oxford House, or the Bunny Bonnie Bee Cremation. Now, Kat, take a look at this. Now, this photo is from Patty. This small, cute little bird has a mighty name. It is the Great Crested Flycatcher, and he was spotted out in St. Andrews. Send us your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Watch what you eat. A new report from the UN's health agency reveals just how many people die each year from unsafe food and who is most at risk. Those details next in Medical Watch. Our Our city will be awash in rainbow this weekend for the Pride Winnipeg Festival. The annual event is set to return with its signature rally and parade, a powerful celebration rooted in the diversity, resilience, and history of the 2S LGBTQ+ community. With us now to share more on this weekend's festivities is Pride Winnipeg President Barry Karlenzig. Barry, hello, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me this evening.
Okay, we've grabbed you for a few moments because you're really in the throes of preparation. But for those who have never made it out to the Pride Festival, can you give us a little sense of how it all began?
So it began back in 1987 with a protest for equal rights. The original march did start in, did end at Memorial Park by the Legislative. There were people who had bags over their heads to hide their identity because at that time they could have been persecuted, assaulted, harassed because of who they were and who they identified as. And now we see 39 years later, a lot of equality that has come a long way.
Yeah, a lot of progress, absolutely, and I imagine so much more hoping still to come. And on that note, this year's theme is Celebrate You. Tell us what that's all about. What does that mean exactly?
So this year's theme of Celebrate You is a chance for everyone to celebrate who their authentic self is and how you identify. And this year's theme is more important than ever, especially with the hate we see going on in the U.S. and especially in Western Canada. The Celebrate You, the be yourself, is one of those to just show that you shouldn't have to just be yourself during Pride Week or during Pride Month, but you should have the ability to be yourself and celebrate yourself year-round.
And speaking of you always select a Grand Marshal every year, and I understand this year there are actually 3. They've got some pretty cool stories. Can you tell me about them?
So for all 3 of our Grand Marshals, they have amazing stories. I can't wait to have everyone hear their stories at the rally on Sunday. I know we did get a lot of applications this year for Grand Marshals. It was a very tough decision for the board, and the 3 that we have this year are absolutely amazing pillars of our community and have been part of our community for so many years and have a chance to celebrate what they've done to pave the way for equal rights now today.
Gotcha. Well, we'll have to stay tuned for that information. And for those who can't make it out in person, by the way, we're going to be having a special live stream of the parade. I'm going to be co-hosting it along with Colleen Brady. But the parade and the rally, they're just a small part or a large part of the festival. But what else do you have going on as part of this year's festival?
So for this year's festival, we have, for the second year in a row, we have our Trailblazer Lounge, so a way to showcase our 55+ community that paved the way to equal rights that we have now. We've expanded our accessibility. We will have described audio at our main stage. We have our 3 amazing stages, so our main stage, our Mum Away stage, and our kids stage, with over 50 acts over the next 2 days. Our headliner Sunday evening is Simone Denny, who, if most people remember the song You're a Superstar from the 90s, she was the headliner for that and is an amazing individual and a Canadian artist. And on top of that, we just have an amazing festival. Pre-COVID, we would see 38,000 people. Now we see over 80 to 90,000 people come to the site over 2 days. So it really shows that diversity has come a long way, equality and equal rights have come a long way, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done to support all of us in community.
It's hard to describe the atmosphere unless you've been there. So for those who are thinking about attending, who should be coming out? Do you need to be a member of the 2S LGBTQ+ community?
No, the festival is open to everyone. Allies are just as important there because it's up to the allies to help build the voices for those in the community. The allies have the strongest voice out in the world, and they're there to help us. And there are so many amazing allies. You think of Free Mum Hugs, you think of Doctors Manitoba, you think of the different community groups that are out there. There are so many individuals that are allies that are there, and the queer community as well. And thinking of the amount of people that have to flee from their small cities within Manitoba to come to Winnipeg to be their authentic self. Some of them just need that support, whether it's a hug or a, you know what, you're okay to be who you are, and that's what you'll find at the festival and have found at the festival for many years here.
I know you've touched on this already, and you say we have come a long way since you first started celebrating almost 40 years ago, but why is it important to keep celebrating Pride? It is so rooted in protest, so why is this such an important festival to keep celebrating and marking year after year?
It is so important because, yes, at 39 years, we've seen a lot of progress, but there's still a lot of more progress to be done. There's still a lot of our trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming communities that don't have equal rights, that are still having issues. We see a lot of our 55-plus community having to go back into the closet now that they're going into care homes, and that shouldn't be happening. Those individuals paved the way for our equal rights, and they shouldn't have to go back into the closet to be safe or to have equal housing, and that's heartbreaking to me and our community.
All right, well, we will leave it there. Barry, thank you so much for joining us and finding some time in the throes of all that preparation, and happy Pride.
Happy Pride, and thank you so much for having me.
Food contaminated with harmful bacteria, viruses, parasites, or chemicals kills 1.5 million people worldwide each year. That's according to the World Health Organization, which says young children are hit the worst. After analyzing 194 countries between 2000 and 2021, the UN Health Agency found 886 million people contract an illness linked to consuming unsafe food each year. Those under 5 years old were nearly 3 times more likely to be at risk. Although illnesses from ingesting dangerous food have declined overall since 2000, it found massive regional inequalities remain. Africa and Southeast Asia alone account for nearly 3/4 of all cases of food-related ailments and 60% of deaths worldwide. South of the border, researchers and health advocates are launching a new campaign aimed at reducing Americans' reliance on ultra-processed foods. The effort, called Fed Up, will provide consumers with information about highly processed products and tools to advocate for changes in school and government policy. It comes as a new American Journal of Public Health survey finds strong bipartisan support for more oversight. That includes a push for warning labels on ultra-processed foods, restrictions on advertising to children, and safety testing for food additives. Supporters of the campaign cite studies linking ultra-processed foods to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and dementia. Food industry groups maintain their products meet federal safety standards and say consumers should have access to a wide range of food choices.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manuke and Coster Denture Clinic.
Winnipeg shows its pride. The annual Pride Parade takes over downtown Winnipeg this Sunday, and we want to take you there. Join me, Colleen Brady, and Catherine Dow, along with our friends from 103.1 Virgin Radio, as we bring you all the colorful floats, conversations with people along the parade route, and much more. You can join us online by visiting ctvnewswinnipeg.ca beginning at 11 a.m.
Spotlight sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Andre-Philippe Gagnon.
A hometown favorite is being added to the lineup for this summer's Burt Block Party. Rock and roll supergroup Toque is joining the August 15th lineup alongside Colin James and Streetheart. The 6th edition of the Block Party returns this year between August 13th and 16th, directly in front of the Burton Cummings Theatre. Previously announced headliners include Killswitch Engage, The Beaches, and Collective Soul, and many others. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster. Festivals, fairs, music, and much more. Here's a look at just some of the events taking place in Manitoba this weekend. Transcona is saying hi neighbor with its annual festival. Pride Winnipeg continues, of course, culminating in the parade and a rally Sunday. The Manitoba Summer Fair is on in Brandon. The West End Cultural Centre is hosting its annual Ellis Street Festival. Western Canada's leading electronic music and digital arts festival, MEME, features free shows at Old Market Square. The 13th Prairie Wind Music Festival brings a diverse blend of Manitoba music to Cypress River. The Manitoba Band Association hosts the Community Band Festival in Coronation Park. The Winnipeg Underground Film Festival showcases contemporary experimental film and video. The Manitoba Pet Expo features vendors as well as animal rescue groups and advocacy organizations. You can find a full list of events this weekend on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Prince fans are getting a new collection of unreleased music music spanning nearly 4 decades of the artist's career. The 10-track album titled Timeless features recordings spanning from 1977 to 2016. The collection, arriving at the end of August, also includes the newly released single Stone. The announcement coincides with the Prince celebration events in Minneapolis, where the city is honoring the music icon with a week-long tribute ahead of his birthday. And here is your Friday primetime lineup. Spring Break Murders starts at 7. Crime Scene Investigators comes next at 8. And Boston Blue wraps things up at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Down to 13 tonight and clear. Heat warning in effect because of this. Hot highs and warm lows through the weekend. Low 30s Saturday and Sunday in the sun. And warm lows averaging around 20 degrees. 25 on Monday. Showers likely. Chance of showers Tuesday. Hotter up to 27. Likely to see showers resume Wednesday. Potentially even into Thursday.
Thanks, Colleen. When you are a charity helping people get beds to sleep on, you need something critical to operate. Beds. And today, Sleep in Heavenly Peace got plenty to help make some. Today, 60 volunteers from Blue Cross rolled up their sleeves and got to work. Sleep in Heavenly Peace builds beds and donates them to Winnipeg Kids in Need. Today, they built 50 beds for 50 kids. And the charity says there is 3,000 to 4,000 kids who don't have a bed of their own.
These beds that we're building here today are for children that literally do not have a bed to sleep on. So these are children that are sharing a bed with a sibling or with their parents, maybe sleeping on a couch, or in some really bad cases, sleeping directly on the floor.
All the beds built today will start being delivered very shortly. In fact, they plan to have all 50 delivered before the end of the month. I'm pretty bad with putting together furniture, so I'd be there for like vibes and support.
Yeah, exactly. We're your cheer team.
No kidding, but a good cause for sure. All right, that'll do it for us. Join us for CTV News at 11:30 and Sunday for Pride. Have a good night.